Hello traders, welcome to another trading week. Happy weekend to you, and I hope you are enjoying your weekend where you are, and you are also making money and learning with our educational videos. This is our trading view page, and you want to search for Club 9 Forex, change this to people and search for Club 9 Forex, and then follow us so that you can get instant notification anytime trade setups are posted there. And you also want to like us on Facebook. Most of on all the social media platforms, our social media handle is as Club 9 Forex. So just try to also support the community by just following us right there. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. And so we are going to just start right away, and we'll start with dollar index, and the setup on dollar index is just still the same, and the structure has not changed yet. So someone chatted me in the group and was trying to find out if there's a possibility of we having this to be already wave wave 1 and this to be already wave 2, and possibly dollar index going down for wave 3 and all that. Well, I told him that there's a possibility that could happen in forex market. Anything can happen, but before we would agree that the structure has changed when it comes to what we are looking at right now, then it means that price need to break the end of wave 1, and right now that has not happened. Price is just here, it's still within the very reach of wave 2, and there's a possibility that price could go off. If it is not going to be wave 2, then price is supposed to go up here before coming down. And the reason for this structure is simply because if you look at the trend right here, price have actually come down all the way to this, and this looks like a corrective pattern, and it does not in any way right now suggest that we are going to be going down. There's a WXY, about 3 waves movement, and then price is most likely supposed to reject this area. It's most likely supposed to reject this state right now. So it has not even gotten to that level yet. It has not gotten to the invalidation zone yet. So we are still within reach of the possible movement to the upside. So what we are looking at in dollar index is a possibility of a 5-wave movement, A, B, C, D, E, and price is currently in the D going for the E, and is expected to make a 3-wave before we then resume the bearish movement. And so I understand that you guys, you are tired of USD weaknesses and you just want USD to gain strength. So I will just beg your indulgence to just hold on for some time, and possibly this week that is when we are going to start seeing the strength of the dollar index. And as you can see, it's looking more as if it has gotten to the level at which it may most likely reject, which is this area right here. You can see that it has gotten to the level at which it may most likely reject, and from there we may expect the bullish trend to start. Now, this has not given any confirmation yet. By the time we go to the lower setup, we'll be able to see lower time frame, you'll be able to see that there's a possibility of we having a divergence forming already around that spot. So let's go to the 4 hours, and it will give us a good idea of whether price is going to that level or not. So this was where we expect price to have turned. Let me just change this to yellow. This was where we expect price to have turned and respect the lower trend line and then reverse, but that did not happen. And you should expect certain things like this to happen once in a while in the market, and it usually do happen when price is going to be going in a single direction for a very long time, and most of the time you expect it to first be overextended in this manner before it actually then give you that proper turn. And it just based on the logical reasoning that the market makers will actually be looking for the best price for them to take their position, and they know that a whole lot of Forex traders will actually position themselves around here to go long. Now, it's the psychology of the market. You understand the psychology, you know why this needs to first happen before there will be a turnaround. So what the plan right here is to confuse people to first think that it's going to go long, then only for them to force price down further before it will then continue, before it will then start the proper bullish reversal. So if you go to the 1 hour time frame, you should be able to see okay, this was the setup I posted there, and it did respect. You can see that it was respecting their money patterns before, but at that place it didn't respect that the crab harmonic pattern. Ideally, it's supposed to be about 161.8 retracement from that spot. Let me just quickly confirm that area again. Okay, so at the 161.8 was where we are supposed to have the reversal, but that did not happen. So we just want to try to find out if we have a divergence forming already. Then it give us an understanding of whether price is going to be reversing very soon or not. Let me just try to plug in the MACD and see if we have any divergence forming. And as you can see, we have the divergence forming. The price is actually going down, but the momentum oscillator, which is the MACD in this case, is actually giving us a probability that price is going to be retracing or reversing around that zone. So you guys should watch out for a reversal in that area soon, and you want to be in the position by the time it is doing that bullish reversal. You don't want to miss out of this trade at all. So what we want to expect going forward from here is that if the dollar index is going to be strong, then it means that EURUSD, the more long-awaited EURUSD and possibly GBPUSD may start selling. But for GBPUSD, we are going to be careful, because as at the last webinar, we let you understand that there's a possibility that we are going to be having some bullish movement, and that was what happened. And we don't know if that bullish, if that rally is over yet. So what I can see right here is that there's a tendency that this is not an ABC, and as a matter of fact, it may have given us a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and price is most likely ending with 5 for it to then reverse. So for this week, I'll be looking forward to the strength of the USD. So let's quickly go to our what do they call it, to our currency meter, to see which one is the weakest and which one is the strongest, so that it will give us an idea of what to look out for in the coming week. And as you can see right here, the USD has actually been the weakest all this while, and the Swiss francs has been the strongest all this while. For me, the best pair to actually be looking for to trade is possibly the US dollars versus the Swiss francs. Let's quickly go to check the Swiss francs chart and see if there's a tendency of price reversing of the Swiss francs getting weak. And on the daily time frame, it looked more as if the Swiss francs index is actually respecting this area, which is why you can see that I drew about 2 lines there. So there's a possibility that it's going to first, if you want to break out, it's supposed to first do some little retracement to gain some power, as in giving us a kind of a correction pattern and then breaking out. So right now, we have not gotten that yet. We are supposed to have this kind of three-wave correction somewhere around here. So right now we have not gotten that yet, and it's looking more likely that price is going to be coming all the way down here, even if it wants to break out from that spot, giving us something that may look like an inverse shoulder edge shadow pattern. So this is the daily time frame, and you can expect the whole of this movement, down movement, to last for about maybe 2 weeks. 1 or 2 weeks, so to say. So with this, we are expecting that US dollar Swiss francs is going to be reversing and buying for some time, but this doesn't actually conclude it yet. We are still going to go to the chart of US dollar Swiss francs and see if we have anything that suggests a reversal at that spot. So let's go back to our meter, and it also confirms that euro has been stronger compared to the US dollar, and most likely by the time US dollar gains strength, we may look forward to selling euro USD. And we have also seen that yen has been strong for some time. Let's quickly go to the structure of yen to see what we have there, and this is the structure of yen, and it's just giving us the same kind of expectation that we had on the dollar index. If you remember, for the dollar index, this is where we are in the dollar index, and we are expecting this first before we then come down. So if you go to the chart of dollar index, you'll see that most likely this is where we are in a dollar index, where we add the W and the X, and we're expecting the white right there. So price will actually give you an indication of what it's doing, and it is your duty as a trader to be able to see it and know what wants to happen next. And so for this, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and there's a possibility that price is going to pull up a little, then come down, giving us something that may look like this kind of formation here, and then come down. So we should be expecting a relatively low noise yen. As you can see right here, yen is just about in the middle way. It's not really strong and it's not weak. So we may actually expect it to just be relatively slow, then after some time just eventually gain strength. So we are looking at something like this. That is when it's going to be relatively low noise. Then after that, you should expect it to then gain enough powerful strength right there. So this gives us an idea of what to be looking forward to in the week. And let's also go to the crude oil chart. For the crude oil chart, it has actually been relatively moving sluggishly, but we expect that it's going to make this powerful move to the upside, then make the expected retracement. The way and manner at which is moving in a diagonal formation. And as this diagonal formation is forming, you will be able to see, if we go to the higher time frame, that we are having a divergence forming even as price keep on doing this, giving you the possibility that price is going to be retracing any moment from now before it continue in the direction that it was before the correction. So right here, you just want to exercise some little patience with the crude oil chart, but when you want to start the bearish, this retracement, you want to be sure that you are not in the opposite direction of the trade. So don't sell the crude oil chart yet. You want it to get to somewhere around here. You want it to get to somewhere around here, and then you can look forward to actually selling it from this spot. But at this level that we are, there's a possibility that price is going to still be going for one more push up before it then sells. And the essence of we studying this for we forex traders is that when it's doing this, then you should expect that US dollar card is going to be bearish, and when it's actually go to this bearish correction, then you expect that US dollar card is going to be bullish. So let's go to all the charts. What we have just done right now is to just try to look at all the different indices and look at and also have an understanding of which one is supposed to be strong for the week and which one is supposed to be weak based on the structure and the fundamentals surrounding them. Then by the time we go to the chart right now, it will be very easy for us to then understand which of the charts we are going to be buying or selling, which of the currency pairs we are going to be buying or selling. So we have analyzed the dollar index, and for the dollar index, it's looking more likely that we are going to be retracing from this spot based on what we have explained to you before. And we are going to go to Euro USD right now, and you should expect the reverse of that on the Euro USD chart. Now for the Euro USD chart, if you remember that we've actually been trading in wave B, and we're expecting an overall WXYXZ to the downside. This is the structure of Euro USD, and price have actually been making a corrective pattern. If you go to history, you'll be able to see why that is the corrective pattern. You can see that price rally all the way to this top. Then after that, it's actually then making a correction. Let me just reduce the zoom. So price made this move to the upside, then it's moving in this manner, and there's a possibility that price is going to come all the way down to this area, then eventually go up. So that is what the idea that we have in mind, and the structure have not changed yet. And the rule of wave B is that wave B should not go above the origin of either wave 5 or wave X. As at this point, this is where the origin is, and this is just where the wave B is. So it's still within the tolerable limits where wave B can travel to. So just like I said, you should expect the reverse of what we have on the dollar index. For the dollar index, we have actually had the W. We have actually had the W and price at the X, expecting to go to the Y in the 5-wave movement before we then rally. So this is what we then expect for the EURUSD. Price have done the A, and then it making the retracement for the B, and most likely going for the wave C. So which gives us a double confirmation of the structure that we are expecting on the EURUSD. Let's go to the daily time frame so that we'll see the price action there clearly. And on this daily time frame, is looking more likely that price have actually ended the 5-wave movement right here. Actually ended the 5-wave movement right here, and you may expect it to eventually start selling from that spot. Let's see if we can go to the 1 hour time frame and get to see if there's any divergence. Most likely divergence forming at that spot. We are going to be plotting our indicator. Let me see the first. Let me see the for us to be able to see. Although the divergence is actually very clear right there. As you can see, price has been moving up in this manner, but the oscillator is actually slowing down. So letting you see that there's every tendency that price may actually make a pullback at this junction that it is getting to right here. There's every tendency that price is actually going to be making this pullback at that point. So we want to be looking out for the possibility of price of reselling the EURUSD in this week. It is a long-awaited sell, and a whole lot of traders out there are also expecting that price will actually be blowing up from this point anytime from now. So let's go to GBP USD2, and it will give us an understanding of, well, go back to the weekly time frame and go to GBP USD. And for GBP USD, just like I said in the previous webinar, let me take out this. Let me just leave it. In the previous webinar, that there's every likelihood that we're going to be having a bullish continuation on GBP USD based on the structure. Now the structure right here suggests an expanding triangle. As you can see, the price is actually moving in this manner, and it's most likely going to get to this level before it then resumes the bearish. So what we want to find out now is if we are going to be having a retracement for some time before it continues the overall trend to the wave E. And so we have an internal structure on the daily time frame that is suggesting the possibility of a flag. This is the wave A, and price have made a 3-wave correction right here, but what we don't know is whether it wants to make a 5-wave correction before it then go for the wave E. So if US gains strength, there's a possibility that price actually just gets to this area, and based on the strength of USD, first come down before we go up. So this is my position for GBP USD. Although it's going to be a risky trade, I will expect that when price gets here, it respects and then made this pullback. Then this is where we'll be looking out for whether to close our position based on the overall structure of the expanding triangle that we can see on the higher time frame, and then we can then look for a sell to this zone. So for now, GBP USD, EURUSD is cleaner to trade than GDP USD, and we don't know whether we're going to be having a 5-wave correction. We don't have a 3-wave correction right here. We don't know whether it's going to be A, B, C, D, E, but we are going to be getting to know during the week, and when price gets here and give us a reversal, then most likely we are going to be having that 5-wave. If it doesn't give us that reversal and it gives us something like this, upon getting there, a slow movement like this, then you expect it to go up from that spot. So for now, Euro USD is cleaner than GDP USD, and we expect I'll give you the updates during the week when price has gotten to an area where there may possibly be a reversal or continuation of trade. So let's go to the next one right here. The next one is going to be gold, and a whole lot of people cannot even wait for me to get to that gold, and it's because of what has been happening all the while regarding gold rally. And the rally is not getting us unaware. It didn't get us unaware because we gave the signal at this spot that you should expect this pullback and then the continuation to the upside. But this is it has gotten to the area where we should expect it to eventually start raining pips of sell from that spot. And let's go back into history and see why we have this expectation of it selling from that spot. So price have actually been moving all the way to this area right there, and then it made this correction. This correction is what we have termed the A, and then this pull back again to the origin of the starting point of the sell is what we have termed the B, and then we are expecting it to fall from there for the C. Now the movement of B has actually been quite deep. It's retracing almost the whole of the wave A. This is the wave A, and it's retracing almost 100% of wave A. Ideally, the rule does not say that wave B cannot retrace more than 100%, that wave B can retrace up to 100% of wave A. It only says that wave B cannot retrace more than 100% of wave A, and that is what we are currently having right here. This is the end of wave 5, and wave B seems to come and retest that end of wave 5, possibly going to be giving us a double top formation. And so just like I said before, in a dollar index, that when price have gotten to an area where it's going to be going for a very long time, there's every tendency that we first have this kind of overextended wave movement, and it's because we're expecting price to go down for a very long time at that spot, and it's just basic what the market makers do. Price is actually just being overextended right now, and you expect it to then start flushing any moment from now. Let's go to the daily time frame and also to the hourly time frame. Now for the daily time frame, this is where we expected that price was going to actually retrace and sell for, then only for it to then do this. Now immediately I saw the candlestick formation in the group. I told you guys in the group that you should close your sell, and that the 4 hours candle does not suggest that the sell has resumed, because I was expecting this kind of movement. I was able to take this buy, but I didn't give that buy setup because it's a very risky trade and it's a personal trade for me. And so the reason why I went for this buy, because I understand the market psychology, is that this is what usually happens when price have got into a proper turnaround zone, and the market makers know there are a lot of sales positions around here, and this is what they first do before they then initiate the proper sell order. If you don't understand all this psychology, everything has been explained right there in the Club 9 Forex Academy. Just go there, or want to go there. If you are relatively new, click on become a student, and then that's when you can be able to access the video. If you click on become a student, it's going to take you to this page where you can register, put in your username, password, register, and then confirm your email. Then you will be able to watch all this. And those, what I just explained before, can be found under volume spread analysis, which gives you a good understanding of the market psychology, understanding price dynamics and price structures, and also following the smart money. So that's just what is happening right here. The structure has not changed, and the wave B have not invalidated the move yet. because it's just doing a retest and making 100% correction of wave A, and from there we can expect price to then sell off. If we go to the possibly the 1 hour time frame, you should be able to see a divergence forming as price is approaching the end of wave 5 and then completing with the wave C, which is this. As you can see, the divergence is already forming, and we should be expecting a blow up from that spot, a very sharp correction from that spot any moment from market open. So let's go to the other. We have analyzed the US oil chart, and for the US oil chart, we are just expecting price to make one more move to the upside, then give us a correction for this B before it eventually go up. But for now, it is still moving so sluggishly, and we may actually just have this and going up and then coming down in this manner. That's giving us a wave 4, completing the wave 4 right here, then going for the wave 5, and then giving a proper retracement for the wave B. And you expect this on the US dollar card based on what we have just seen on the crude oil chart, that the US dollar card can actually then give us that 3-wave correction before it then starts selling. Let's go to the higher time frame. From the daily time frame, you understand what we have been looking at all along. So this is the daily time frame, and this is what we're expecting on what we explained on the 1 hour chart. Is just a correction for the wave 4, and then finally before price go down. So as at the time that the dollar index starts going up, that is when you should expect this movement to the downside. But when the dollar index starts going down, then that is when you should expect this correction to the upside, and it's supposed to actually be clearer on the 4 hours time frame. On the 4 hours time frame, which is this. So we don't know. What we don't know right now is if price is going to just keep on moving in this complex correction pattern, or is actually going to be giving us this 3-wave correction to complete the wave 4, or if you want to get complex, it will just stop here and then still keep on in that manner. But I would expect that price actually give us that complete 3-wave correction, then keep on going down based on the structure that we have seen on the higher time frame, and also that we have seen on the US crude oil chart. But for now, what we're expecting is a possible bullish movement on US dollar card. US dollar Swiss, we explained this before, and this is where we are. Let's quickly go to the daily time frame and see what we have on the US dollar Swiss. The overall trade setup for US dollars Swiss francs is bearish. As you can see right here, it's bearish, and it's looking more likely that okay, these lines are not well positioned right here. So we may expect that we have the completion of the ABC and then the B wave here. But the reason why I decided to put it down to that level is the tendency of we having it expanded, so that we don't get to miss out. We don't get to get into early trade. So let's quickly try to understand the price action here and use it to understand what we expect going forward. And it seems likely that we have had a zigzag right here. That means an A, B, C, and then price is also having an A, B, C correction to that level. And this ABC is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A. It's a zigzag formation. The correction, then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending here. Then we are having an ABC, then a corrective, a complex correction pattern within the wave B, which after that we then expect it to go for the wave C. So it looks more likely that we have gotten to the area where price may actually reject from, but if we go to the daily time frame and the 4 hours time frame, we'll get to be able to conclude that. So this is what we have on the daily time frame, and what looks more likely is that price is just getting to the area where it should turn around from and then reject and then reverse. So we should expect US dollar Swiss to first go some little bearish, and then after that we can expect it to turn around based on the structure that we can see, the overall structure that we can see on the daily time frame. This is the complex wave B structure, and once it completes, we should expect it to then resume a proper bullish for the wave C in the overall weekly setup. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see if we have any divergence forming that will give us an understanding of what to expect going forward. Right here you can see that we had an impulse, we had a correction, impulse, a correction, and we have had an impulse, and it's more likely that we're just going to be having a correction, a retracement around this zone and then a turnaround. So if we go to the 1-hour time frame, let's see if the divergence is clear there. The divergence on the 1-hour time frame is not that so clear, and it's looking more likely that price is going to just come down for some time, and then the MACD can actually be slowing down before you have the reversal. So for now, you want to be careful. If I think we are already in the buy setup for this US dollar, so maybe it has taken us out in early stop loss, but we are just going to wait for it to actually get to somewhere around here, and then we could look for the proper buy setup. The next one right there is US dollar yen. So what I'm just doing right now is to look at all the pairs that are relative to the US dollars. Then we can later go to analyze the crosses. So for the US dollars yen, I think I don't have the trade setup right here. Let me quickly go to my Forex Grandmaster trading view chart. Remember that I just opened this newly, so I'm just trying to populate the I'm just trying to do the labeling on this one. So this is US dollar yen, and this setup confirms that we still have some bearish expectation to this level before we then possibly go up from that spot, and I may even expect that price is going to be pulling up a little if US dollar index becomes strong, giving us a 3-wave correction pattern right here before it then comes down. So I would expect that there is going to be a pullback on US dollar yen. Let's go to the daily time frame, and this is what we have on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame right here, we would expect price to actually reject this area, possibly get to this level before it then comes down. So for US dollar yen, you should expect possible bullish trend this week. The next one we want to look at is let me just take out this So the next one we want to look at is Aussie. For Aussie, we have been trying to be into the sell for this correction pattern wave B, and the sell has actually started, but it's not moving in the manner at which we would expect it to be. But let's see how this week goes. There's a possibility that it's going to actually flush down quite well if US dollar index becomes strong. So we're expecting this correction for wave B, and then price eventually blasting out from there, giving us that inverse edge shoulder pattern. And this is the end of wave 5, and we're expecting an ABC correction from that spot. Let's see if we can have a clear setup on the 4 hours time frame. And on the 4 hours time frame, it looks as if we are going to be having a diagonal formation, giving us the end of that wave 5 within the wave A before it then flush down. So we may expect price to come down to this area. Then this is where you want to watch out for if it's going to be breaking it to complete the wave B, or you want to make one more correction to the upside before it completes the wave B. But for right now, we are expecting a bearish correction on AUD USD. New Zealand USD, we expected to have the same kind of structure on New Zealand USD. Let's go to the daily time frame and see our expectation there. It's just the similar structure that we have had on AUD USD. We are also expecting it on New Zealand USD. There's a possibility that price may first go up to retest this area proper before it then give us this expected retracement. So right now, the level at which we are on New Zealand USD is a correction for wave B before we then go for the breakout in wave C. So let's see if we have gotten to where price is actually going to be selling off from. And we seems not to have completed the wave 5 years on this year, and there's a possibility that price may just do a little movement to actually just be around this area and then do the proper retracement from that spot. So if you are going to be selling New Zealand USD, you want to just wait for a little push up, then hit your sell from that spot. Or if it's going to be giving you a proper reversal formation on the lower time frame, then that's when you want to look forward to selling it. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame, and just like I said before, this kind of structure is not completed yet. You may have this move to the upside, then price eventually selling off from that spot. The next one right there is Euro Yen, and for Euro Yen we've actually been in a sell, and this is the update on the Euro Yen. Let's go to the daily time frame and see what the overall price action there, and then we come back to the lower time frame. And for this, it looks as if we have been expecting price to come for this wave Z before eventually break out. But what is not clear yet is if we have completed the corrective structure and we want to keep on going up. We don't know yet, but whether we want to go up or not, it needs to make this correction before it then decide whether it wants to go up from that spot or not. So on the 4 hours time frame, this is what we have. We seem to have a bad formation on the 4 hours time frame, and we were expecting that price was going to be selling off from this spot before, but that didn't happen. It actually went to give us the completion of this bad pattern, and it looks more likely that it has respected a bad pattern. So you should expect price to actually do this. If it gets to this area and then still go up, then it means it wants to give us a complex correction, but I don't expect that to happen. I just expect that price is going to be coming all the way down here. If it wants to go up, then it's going to be giving us this big 3-wave correction and then bullish continuation from that spot, or otherwise this movement is going to be very big, and it then gets to this area for more bearish continuation. But that is not our concern right now. Our concern right now is if price is going to be selling off from this area or not. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame and see what we have there too. On the 1 hour time frame, this level seems to have been respected, and price is only just coming a little retracement, and then we expect it to then come down from that spot. So I will just be watching out for this level on when price open tomorrow, and if it's going to be giving us something that may look like this inverse shoulder edge shoulder, then it means we are going to be going down. But if it doesn't do that and then break the top right here, then we want to keep on observing that level, because there's a possibility that it's going to be breaking this top before it then comes down. But the overall direction right now is that we should expect a flush down eventually. So my take on Euro Yen right now is bearish, and I want to look out for a rejection around here when price open and then sell off. If that rejection doesn't happen, then we want to go and wait for it to get to somewhere around here and then sell off. GDP Yen. For GDP Yen, I've also not drawn the trade setup right here, but let's see if we can just have an understanding of what could happen. And from what I can see right here, this is the weekly time frame. From what I can see right here, there's every tendency that price may just do this and then come all the way down. The structure is still bearish, and that's what we should be expecting when we go to the lower time frame. Let's go to daily time frame. For the daily time frame, this is what we have. The structure on GDP Yen, pound yen right now is not that so clear, and I want to really stay out of trading it for the time being. As you can see, the structure is not clear yet, and it's looking more likely that price is moving in a manner that suggests it wants to go up, then to that level before then coming all the way down here. But if it's going to actually be selling off from this spot, then it's going to just be dancing around before it eventually sells. This structure does not suggest that it's in a middle way. It's not really showing us a bullish or a bearish setup. It's actually in a middle way, and it's 50-50 chance, which is why I wouldn't be looking forward to trading pounds yen. But if there's any development later during the week, I will let you guys know in the group. Odd yen has the similar structure that we have on AUD USD, and we are expecting a 3-wave correction. That is price giving us the B and then breaking out for the C. The structure have not changed yet. This is the wave 5 and this is wave A. Price have only gone to do a retest of that level. Possibly it will then sell off from that spot for the correction of wave B. Then I think CAD yen, I think I mean, just because I don't want this to quite be extensive, I mean just stop here. The other ones are just crosses, and we want to, I'll give you updates of that during the week. For CAD yen, we expect it to actually sell off from this spot, and that is what is currently happening. If you go to the lower time frame, you'll be able to see the structure clearly. Let me just take out this and also take out this. So the structure here has not changed, and we seem to have an impulse, and price is making a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being extended right here. It's being expanded right there, and it's looking more likely that we had an expansion, an expanded triangle. So price only goes to that area and then sold off. So what do you expect right now is to just give you a retracement up to this level and then sell off. So you want to wait for price to come to somewhere around here and then do the sell off from that spot. Now remember that this is the 4 hours time frame, and it's going to take quite some time before that happens. So on the 1 hour time frame, you may be able to see the setup clearly, and price may actually do this and then do something like this before it then sells. So you want to be in the trade by the time it gets to somewhere around that level. Let's go to the next one. Let me just quickly change our time frame and go to CHF yen, Swiss yen. So for Swiss yen, the structure have not changed yet too, and we expect that price is going to be selling off after making an equal wave right there. You expect this, and then you expect this, and price is supposed to actually reject this zone any moment from now. So you know, our expectation on yen index and Swiss index is that we expect Swiss to be weak, and then we expect yen to be strong. If you remember, if you can go back to the video, so you expect this actually to start selling off from this zone. We go to the let's go to the daily time frame, and perhaps we'll be able to understand the structure clearly. So what it just happened right here is that the price may most likely just get to this area and then sell off. This trading strategy, if it's on MT4, I would have explained to you the exact zone at which this is going to happen using the other trading tools. But right here, this is what you just expect: a little bit up push, then price eventually selling off all the way down to that zone. It's a long-term sell setup, and you want to be in that trade. You don't want to miss out from that opportunity. Euro card. For Euro card, we are going to be we expected this same sell off. Let's go to the 4 hours time frame, and on the 4 hours time frame, we just had something that looked like just a little bit of extension, perhaps because of some stop hunt activities going on around here. This the structure is still the same, and you expect euro to be weak in this coming week, and then CAD to be strong by the time the US dollar oil US oil starts going bullish. So you want to expect this possibility of this thing to happen right there. So for Euro card, you still want to look for the possibility of a sell trade. GDP card too, you are going to be having a similar structure on GDP card. Price actually getting to this area. There's a possibility of we having an harmonic pattern right here that is going to be forming. So if you check your harmonic dashboard or the harmonic indicator, you'll be able to possibly see that there's an harmonic pattern forming right here, and then you can use that to take the sell that may happen from that level. So GDP card too, we want to look forward to selling it, but a little bit a confirmation of an harmonic pattern right here for you to be able to sell it. Most likely is going to be the butterfly pattern, where this is going to be the 78.2% and this is the 127.2%. If you have the harmonic dashboard, the harmonic indicator, you'll be able to get to see that entry at that spot. Euro AUD. For Euro AUD, we gave a sell setup at this zone. We gave a sell setup at this zone, which went in, and price have only come all the way to this area. Now we are expecting that Aussie is going to be weak, and so you may expect that the correction of this Euro AUD has finished, and price most likely just gets into this area and then blowing out. So I will be expecting to buy Euro AUD. So out of all the trade setups so far, it's only Euro AUD, and relating to Euro and Aussie, it's only Euro AUD that look as if it has a bullish setup. But if that is not going to be happening, then if price breaks below this level, then you want to wait for it to get to this area and then look for your buy setup at that spot. But for me, I'll actually be watching out for price getting to this area for me to go long. Then GDP AUD, and then finally we have the other three ones. So for GDP AUD too, the same thing. I was complaining in the group, you remember, that I missed out from this trade setup. There's an harmonic pattern right here that confirms the buy setup, and we miss out of it, but it's no problem. We're just going to wait for it to do some little retracement and possibly then be in a trade that wants to take us for that long. Now this is where you need to watch out for. If it doesn't stop when it gets here, then it means that we are still going to go for one last push, a break of this low, before we then go bullish. So it has a similar structure with Euro AUD. Pound Swiss. For pound Swiss, remember that we are expecting Swiss to be weak, and so pound Swiss have actually just been respecting this zone all along. You may expect that price is going to also reject this area for a possible bullish trend. But for me, I'm going to be staying out of this trade because it's looking more likely that pounds is going to be weak this week, and also Swiss is going to be weak this week. So you may have that GDP Swiss is just going to be dancing around in one line, in one area, or in one zone, so to say. So for me, GDP Swiss is not really a good trade setup right now. But if anything changes, I will communicate that in the group. Pounds New Zealand. For Pound New Zealand, we have had something that looked like an ending diagonal structure all along, and it looked more likely that price is finding it very difficult to break out from that zone. So what we want to be looking at right now is a possibility of price actually breaking out from here or coming all the way down for before it breaks out. So it has a similar structure as we have it in GDP AUD. So when price opens on Monday, you want to watch out if it's going to be respecting this zone, or you want to look out for the buy setup around here. In any which case, I'll be communicating the developments in the group. Then last but not the least is Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, the structure has remained the same within this correction pattern. And if you remember in the last webinar, I told you guys that there's a possibility that this is going to go up first before it then comes down. And that's what it's doing right now. Price is just still making the move for this whole corrective pattern, which is the 5-wave correction pattern, and you expect it to first come down all the way here before it then plans for the rally. So this is where this is an area of interest. It is, if it gets here, that's when you start watching out for if it's giving you a correction pattern that suggests it wants to break down below, or it's giving you a reversal formation right here that's suggesting price wants to continue in a bullish direction, giving you a 3-wave correction right here. So all what we should be expecting right here is price first coming to this 8,000 about 8,400 mark before we then decide what wants to happen next. So we have come to the end of today's webinar, and don't forget to like and share, and by sharing you are going to be helping some other traders out there that are finding it very difficult to really approach the market like a pro. And also don't forget to subscribe so that you can get notified anytime a new video are being posted. If you are new, you want to go to the academy page to register, and then that's when you can be able to access the videos. And also you want to follow us on all these other social media platforms: Facebook, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all those. Just search for Club 9 Forex and it will bring out our page, and you can then follow or like. Our social media platform are still relatively new, just nearly open, and so you may not really get to see much activity there, but very soon a whole lot of activity will start flowing in. So you guys enjoy the rest of the week, and wishing you a very blissful and profitable week. And if you have questions, don't forget to private chat me directly in the Telegram group, or you can just join the Telegram at Club 9 Forex and leave your questions there. So happy trading to you. Cheers and bye.